Imagine a sunny morning. The table is set, the coffee is hot, and beside it, a generous slice of fresh pineapple. Most people start the day believing they're making a perfect health choice. After all, pineapple is synonymous with vitamins, fiber, and tropical freshness. But what few realize is that, depending on how and when it's consumed, this fruit can become a true silent saboteur of metabolism. And this mistake is most common among those most concerned about aging gracefully. Pineapple carries an enviable reputation. It aids digestion, strengthens the immune system, burns fat. But these promises, repeated for decades, hide nuances that no one discusses. In a young body, full of reserves and with a fast metabolism, the impact is almost imperceptible. But in a mature body, past 60, every chemical reaction occurs more slowly, and what was once a positive stimulus can become an overload. Science explains, as we age, the pancreas becomes less efficient at producing insulin, and the liver processes fructose more slowly. This means that the natural sugar in pineapple, although seemingly light, can cause blood sugar spikes very similar to those of a sugary dessert. The consequence? Sudden fatigue, increased silent inflammation, and difficulty controlling weight even in those who eat well. But the problem isn't the pineapple itself. It's the context. The timing, the combination, and the state of the digestive system make all the difference. A simple mistake, like eating it at the wrong time of day, can alter the stomach's acid balance, impair mineral absorption, and even aggravate symptoms like reflux and heartburn. Most people interpret the discomfort as age, but often, it's just the body reacting to an unbalanced eating routine. What seemed like a vitamin C boost may actually be undermining your natural defenses. It's an intriguing paradox. The same fruit that protects against inflammation can, if misused, trigger joint pain and slow digestion. This is especially dangerous because the effects are gradual. No one feels them immediately, but the body accumulates signs: a feeling of bloating after lunch, drowsiness after meals, decreased energy upon waking. Understanding the true role of pineapple in your diet after 60 is essential to turning what seemed like a trap into a powerful ally. The good news is that there are simple ways to enjoy its benefits without suffering hidden side effects. The bad news is that almost no one does it the right way. So, before you continue, do something for yourself: subscribe to the channel now. Each new video brings practical, science-based guidance translated into real life, no jargon, no buzzwords. The right information, at the right time, is what separates accelerated aging from lasting vitality. And as you ponder the next slice of pineapple you'll put on your plate, keep this question in mind: what happens inside the body when this seemingly harmless fruit comes into contact with a slower metabolism? The answer is the starting point for understanding the 5 dangerous mistakes every senior needs to avoid, and the first of these is the most insidious of all. Behind pineapple's refreshing flavor lies an invisible mechanism that dictates how the body reacts to the fruit's natural sweetness. Fructose, the main sugar in pineapple, is metabolized almost exclusively by the liver. When consumed in moderation and combined with a balanced diet, it provides clean, quick energy. However, in excess or at inappropriate times, especially in organisms with slower metabolisms, it can become an inflammatory fuel. After age 60, the body no longer responds to sugar spikes in the same way. Insulin, the hormone responsible for transporting glucose into cells, begins to act less efficiently. This means sugar circulates in the blood for longer, generating a momentary feeling of energy followed by a sudden drop. This is why many older adults report unexplained fatigue soon after eating sweet fruits. It's a metabolic roller coaster that begins with the tropical flavor and ends in fatigue. Fructose alone also tricks the brain. It doesn't stimulate the same feeling of satiety as glucose. The result is constant hunger, even after eating. For the mature body, this is dangerous. Each spike in blood sugar stimulates the production of free radicals, accelerates cellular aging, and wears down the cardiovascular system. Small daily excesses turn into silent inflammations that gradually erode vitality. But why does this happen more intensely as we age? Over time, there's a slight reduction in muscle mass, the body's main glucose reservoir. Less muscle means less sugar storage capacity. So, what the body doesn't use turns into fat, especially in the abdominal region. And pineapple, even raw, can contribute to this accumulation when consumed indiscriminately. Recent studies show that excess fructose is linked to changes in the liver, hormonal balance, and even memory. In older people,
this effect is magnified because the liver works more slowly. It must deal not only with sugar, but also with medications, toxins, and food residue, a veritable metabolic overload. And in this scenario, even a seemingly harmless fruit can trigger more serious imbalances. In other words, when you consume pineapple without proper preparation or monitoring, your body interprets this as a chemical challenge. Instead of receiving pure energy, it needs to combat excess acidity and adjust blood sugar levels. This causes fatigue, bloating, and a subtle feeling of heaviness that many attribute to aging. However, there's good news. The human body is incredibly adaptable. With simple adjustments, such as the right timing and the right combinations, it's possible to enjoy pineapple therapeutically without harming your metabolism. But before that, you need to understand where the most common mistake occurs. It lies in a nearly universal habit, eating pineapple right after meals. It seems harmless, but it's the tipping point that transforms a medicinal fruit into a source of digestive discomfort. For years, the idea that pineapple aids digestion has been repeated. At parties, barbecues, or Sunday lunches, it appears as the perfect dessert to soothe the stomach. But this popular belief, while seemingly logical, hides a chemical problem that few are aware of. Eating pineapple right after a meal rich in fat or heavy proteins is like throwing acid on a still-burning fire. The result is irritation, reflux, and in more severe cases, difficult to control gastric inflammation. The explanation is simple yet powerful. Pineapple contains an enzyme called bromelain, known for breaking down protein molecules and facilitating digestion. In theory, this sounds excellent. But in practice, the post-meal environment is already saturated with digestive acids, bile, and the body's own natural enzymes. Adding bromelain at this point overloads the stomach. It's as if the digestive system is receiving contradictory orders to process and protect at the same time. The result is an imbalance in gastric pH, mucosal irritation, and a burning sensation. For those who already have sensitivity, mild gastritis, reflux, or frequent use of anti-inflammatories, the effect is even more intense. The combination of fatty foods with pineapple acid stimulates the opening of the valve that separates the stomach from the esophagus, facilitating the rise of acidic contents. This is why many people experience a burning sensation immediately after eating something heavy followed by pineapple. Interestingly, most interpret this symptom as something positive, as if it were the pineapple clearing the fat. In reality, it's the body's defense mechanism. Another factor that aggravates the problem is the temperature. When pineapple comes straight from the refrigerator, it slows down the digestive process and constricts the stomach's vessels, further hindering the work of natural enzymes. The immediate sensation is refreshing, but the internal impact is the opposite of what's desired. The body needs heat to digest properly, and the intense cold of a frozen fruit can momentarily paralyze the stomach. But there's a way to enjoy bromelain without suffering its side effects. Ideally, pineapple should be consumed alone, between meals or in the morning, when the digestive system is more balanced and the stomach's natural acidity is lower. In this context, the enzyme acts as an ally, helping to break down old proteins and cleanse the digestive tract. It's fascinating to see how the same food can heal or harm, depending on the moment. This is one of the great lessons of smart eating. Context is everything. What the body needs after a heavy meal is time, not extra acidity. And pineapple, when used as a shortcut, may be silently sabotaging your digestion. So the next time someone offers you a slice right after lunch, remember that not everything that seems healthy is harmless. The first dangerous mistake has already been debunked, but there's another habit that's even more common and equally harmful, and it happens early in the day, when the body is most vulnerable. Many people start the day believing they're doing something good for their bodies. A glass of pineapple juice on an empty stomach, cold, natural, vibrant. The image seems perfect, a gentle way to wake up the body and boost immunity. But what actually happens inside the body is the opposite. Early in the morning, the stomach is empty, sensitive, and naturally acidic. When it receives a concentrated dose of fructose and acidity from pure pineapple, it reacts as if it's been attacked. Bromelain, the digestive enzyme present in the fruit, has a powerful function, breaking down proteins. But without food in the stomach, it ends up interacting with gastric tissue, irritating the mucosa and causing a burning sensation that many mistake for hunger. This minor discomfort, repeated daily,
can cause micro-injuries and increase stomach sensitivity over time. It's no wonder so many people over 60 report chronic reflux and heartburn, even when eating well. Furthermore, pineapple juice on an empty stomach creates a chemical imbalance that disrupts the rest of the day. The body, upon detecting the high acidity and fructose spike, releases insulin to balance blood sugar. This abrupt reaction causes an energy crash in the following hours. Instead of morning vitality, the result is fatigue and irritability. And when this happens frequently, the metabolism begins to slow, hindering fat burning and increasing insulin resistance, one of the main causes of weight gain after 60. Another overlooked point is the impact on tooth enamel. The acid in pineapple, when consumed on an empty stomach, without any salivary protection or the presence of other foods, wears away the protective layer of teeth. Over time, the smile becomes more sensitive, and the risk of fractures and stains increases. The problem isn't the juice itself, but rather the way and timing of its consumption. To counteract this effect, there's a simple rule that turns pineapple from enemy to ally: never eat it alone on an empty stomach. Combine it with fiber, such as oats, chia, or flaxseed, or a source of good fat, such as avocado or a drizzle of olive oil. This creates a protective barrier in the stomach, reducing acidity and balancing sugar absorption. It's also important to pay attention to the temperature. Very cold juice causes an immediate contraction of the stomach vessels, slowing the digestive process. Ideally, it should be at room temperature or slightly lukewarm, a difference that seems small but completely changes the body's response. Many habits that seem healthy in youth become traps after 60, because the body no longer has the same enzyme reserves and regenerative capacity. This is why prevention becomes a form of nutritional intelligence. Each choice should respect the body's rhythm, not the fad. And if juice fasting is a silent mistake, the next habit is even more insidious. It occurs when pineapple is combined with other foods considered healthy, but together they create an explosive mixture inside the stomach. Few people know this, but the third dangerous mistake with pineapple occurs in the most common combinations at the table: salads with chicken and pineapple, yogurt with pineapple chunks, creamy desserts with tropical layers. At first glance, everything seems balanced: a touch of sweetness, a source of protein, a refreshing touch. However, what appears to be harmony on the plate can turn into chaos in the digestive system. The reason lies in the invisible chemical reactions that occur inside the stomach. Bromelain, the enzyme that makes pineapple so famous, works by breaking down proteins. When we eat the fruit with meat, eggs, or dairy, this enzyme starts the digestion process before the body is even ready. In people with slower metabolisms, especially after 60, this causes fermentation, gas, and a feeling of bloating. This is the body trying to cope with digestion that started out of rhythm. Dairy products make matters worse. Pineapple's acidic pH coagulates milk proteins, creating a denser, more difficult to process texture. This is why many people experience discomfort after eating yogurt with citrus fruits and rarely associate the symptom with the combination itself. The result is slow digestion, waste buildup, and decreased nutrient absorption. Over time, this constant overload can compromise intestinal balance and the beneficial flora that protects the immune system. Besides digestive discomfort, there's another, more subtle effect. When pineapple is combined with foods rich in animal fat, such as cheese and meat, the fructose and fruit acids interfere with the emulsification of bile, the fluid responsible for breaking down fats in the intestine. This causes some of the fat to be poorly digested, generating a feeling of heaviness and fatigue after meals. This type of indigestion, repeated daily, reduces vitality and alters the way the body produces energy. The solution is simple, but requires careful consideration. Pineapple should be consumed away from heavy meals, preferably alone or combined with light foods and vegetables. An ideal example is pineapple with mint or green leaves, which balance its acidity and enhance its anti-inflammatory action. Another option is to use it in small amounts in neutral-based juices, such as cucumber or coconut water, instead of mixing it with milk or yogurt. The secret to good digestion isn't avoiding foods, but respecting the body's natural rhythm. After 60, the stomach needs space to work, and aggressive combinations are like noise in a delicate system. Learning to balance is the first step to regaining energy and lightness. And if the wrong combinations are a silent source of discomfort, There's an even more worrying detail that often begins before the fruit even reaches the table. It's something you can't see or taste, but it can directly affect the liver, intestines, and heart. Most people buy pineapples without a second thought. The prettier and golden, the better. But behind their vibrant appearance and sweet scent, there's an unseen danger. Pineapples are among the most heavily sprayed fruits in modern agriculture. To survive long journeys, resist pests, and maintain their pristine skin, they're sprayed with a combination of pesticides, fungicides, and preservatives. And the problem isn't limited to the skin. These residues penetrate the outer fibers and reach the pulp, directly onto your plate. In a young body, the liver can handle small doses of these substances. But as the decades pass, the natural detoxification system loses efficiency. The liver ages, the intestine becomes more permeable, and the result is a silent accumulation of chemical compounds that inflame cells and reduce immunity. Even a small amount, repeated over the years, can affect metabolism, hormonal health, and even sleep. Pesticide residues have a cumulative effect. They interfere with the gut microbiota, destroying the beneficial bacteria responsible for digestion and vitamin absorption. This imbalance leads to chronic inflammation, skin problems, bloating, and even mood swings. It's the kind of impact rarely associated with diet, but it directly impacts the quality of the food we eat. Furthermore, pineapples are often harvested while still green and artificially ripened during transportation. To speed up this process, gases and chemicals are often used that alter the fruit's nutritional value. The result is a product that looks beautiful on the outside, but has lower enzyme and vitamin content. The body receives the appearance of food, but not the lifeblood it should provide. The good news is that there are simple ways to reduce this toxic load. The first is to choose pineapples from a reliable source, preferably organic. When this isn't possible, there's an effective homemade method. Soak the whole fruit in a solution of water, vinegar, and a tablespoon of baking soda for about 15 minutes. This process removes much of the surface residue and reduces the chemical impact of consumption. Another tip is to cut off the base and top of the pineapple before peeling, as the ends are where pesticide concentrations tend to be highest. Even though it may seem wasteful, this small gesture protects the body from overload. After 60, every detail makes a difference. A less inflamed liver means more energy, better digestion, and a clearer mind. Many of the symptoms we associate with aging, such as fatigue, fluid retention, and widespread pain, are directly related to food poisoning. And conventional pineapple, if consumed frequently, may be one of the hidden culprits. But the next mistake is even more subtle. It has nothing to do with the fruit's origin or pesticides, but rather with the timing of consumption. A detail of timing can determine whether pineapple will be an ally to the heart and kidneys or a trigger for sleepless nights and morning fatigue. Some people believe that eating pineapple at night is light, refreshing, and aids digestion before bed. The acidic flavor provides a cleansing sensation, and the freshness seems like the perfect end to the day. But for the mature body, this choice can be a trap in disguise. The digestive system naturally slows down after sunset, preparing for rest. When it receives a dose of fructose and intense acidity at this time, it has to forcefully reactivate itself, which disrupts sleep, irritates the stomach, and interferes with nighttime recovery. Nighttime digestion requires less energy, and pineapple, being a diuretic, stimulates the kidneys to work harder. The result is a cycle of nocturnal urination, mineral loss, and interrupted deep sleep. The body tries to eliminate excess acid and fructose through urine, and this extra effort depletes magnesium and potassium reserves, two essential minerals for preventing cramps and keeping the heart rate balanced. When the body wakes up tired, without understanding why, the cause often lies there: a simple slice of pineapple eaten at the wrong time. Another critical factor is hydration. Most people eat pineapple without drinking enough water throughout the day. This makes the diuretic action even more aggressive, concentrating uric acid and overloading the kidneys. Over time, this habit can contribute to minor kidney inflammation, fluid retention, and even high blood pressure. Pineapple is ideally eaten in the morning or early afternoon, when the metabolism is active and the body can use fructose for energy. At these times, the enzyme bromelain acts more efficiently, aiding digestion and cellular cleansing. At night, the body needs serenity, not stimulation. The sweet and acidic pineapple awakens the digestive system when it should be resting. There's also an impact on the sleep hormone melatonin. Acid digestion and a slight increase in glucose levels inhibit the natural production of this hormone, making sleep lighter and more fragmented. Thus, even if a person sleeps for 8 hours, the rest isn't restorative. Small changes, such as avoiding highly acidic fruits after 7 p.m. and increasing water intake, can improve sleep quality and morning energy. Every detail counts. Healthy aging isn't about making major revolutions, but about understanding your body's subtle reactions and adjusting your life's rhythm accordingly. A seemingly harmless habit could be draining your energy without you even realizing it. While we're at it, I'd like to know where you're watching from and if you usually eat pineapple at night. It's surprising to discover how many people have similar habits and experience the same symptoms without making the connection. Comment below, your story may help others understand what their body is trying to tell them. Now that you know the 5 most dangerous mistakes, it's time to turn the tables. Pineapple, when used wisely, can be one of the most powerful allies for natural health. The next step is to understand how to transform it from a silent villain into a true natural remedy for aging bodies. The same pineapple that causes discomfort when used incorrectly can become a powerful natural remedy when incorporated intelligently into your routine. It all depends on the time, the combination, and the preparation method. The secret is to respect your body and understand how each component of the fruit works within the body. When this happens, pineapple ceases to be a risk and becomes a true ally for cardiovascular health, digestion, and even immunity. Bromelain, the enzyme that once seemed like a problem, is actually a gem of nature. It reduces inflammation, improves circulation, and aids in nutrient absorption as long as the stomach is in balance. Ideally, eat pineapple in the morning, when your digestive system is awake and your hormones are still adjusting to the day's metabolism. At this time, fructose is converted into energy more efficiently, and the fruit's acidity helps clear accumulated waste from the overnight fast. Another smart way to reap its benefits is to combine it with foods that balance its acidic impact. Chia seeds, flax seeds, or avocado slices create a natural shield in the stomach, slowing sugar absorption and keeping glucose levels stable for longer. This simple combination provides satiety, protects the liver, and stimulates intestinal transit without irritating the mucous membranes. Furthermore, pineapple is an exceptional source of vitamin C, manganese, and antioxidants that fight free radicals. For those seeking to age with vitality, this means less joint stiffness, better healing, and more elastic skin. But these effects only appear when consumption is moderate and balanced. Eating large amounts every day, believing it's cleansing the body, has the opposite effect: digestive overload and increased overall acidity. There's also a little discussed aspect: pineapple's role in circulation. Bromelain helps reduce minor clotting and improves blood flow, protecting the heart. In recent studies, this enzyme has shown potential to aid tissue recovery and even reduce swelling after minor trauma. In other words, in a mature body, it acts like a microscopic cleaner, clearing away what time tends to accumulate. For those with aching joints or morning stiffness, small portions of pineapple combined with anti-inflammatory foods can naturally alleviate discomfort. And this is precisely where a special combination comes in, a combination of compounds that enhance each other and make pineapple even more therapeutic. It's a simple recipe, but so effective it could be included in a natural preventative medicine manual. It's time to discover what happens when pineapple combines with one of the most studied ingredients in the world, turmeric. This combination, when done correctly, creates a positive chemical reaction that multiplies antioxidant action and strengthens the body's defenses. A golden union that transforms this tropical fruit into a true elixir of longevity. Not all foods work well alone. Some reveal their true potential only when they find the right partners, and pineapple is one of them. When combined with turmeric and a source of healthy fat, it transforms into a natural cocktail of cell regeneration. It's what many nutritionists call a golden combination, because it brings together enzymes, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory compounds that complement each other and amplify their effects on the mature body. Turmeric, also known as turmeric, contains an active pigment called curcumin. This compound has proven anti-inflammatory properties and helps neutralize free radicals, which are responsible for premature aging and cellular degeneration. When curcumin meets pineapple bromelain, intestinal absorption significantly increases. It's as if one opens the way for the other, making the body more receptive to the benefits of both. But there's a third essential element for this combination to truly work: healthy fat. Curcumin is fat-soluble, meaning it requires fat to be absorbed. Without it, the body eliminates much of the active compound without benefiting from its effects. That's why adding a spoonful of extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, or flaxseed oil to the preparation makes all the difference. This layer of healthy fat acts as a vehicle, carrying the bioactive compounds into the cells and prolonging their action. The result is a powerful triad. Pineapple provides enzymes and vitamin C, turmeric reduces inflammation and protects the heart, and healthy fat ensures all of this gets where it needs to go. Together, these substances balance the immune system, reduce joint pain, and improve digestion. Recent studies show that curcumin combined with bromelain can even aid in muscle tissue recovery and control mild blood pressure. A practical way to apply this combination is to prepare a morning longevity tonic. Blend a slice of fresh pineapple with a pinch of turmeric, a drizzle of olive oil, and room temperature water. Drink immediately after preparation, without straining. Within a few days, you'll often notice lighter digestion, less bloating, and more stable energy throughout the day. The key is not to overdo it. A small daily dose is enough to produce consistent results. Excess, on the other hand, can cause gastric irritation, proof that even the most beneficial foods require balance. This simple mixture carries a greater symbolism. It shows how the body responds with gratitude when treated intelligently, not hastily. Aging healthily is like tuning an instrument. It requires care, rhythm, and harmony. But there's a crucial detail that many people overlook. Even the most powerful combination can lose its effect if prepared incorrectly. Temperature, time, and method of consumption are decisive factors. Understanding how to preserve pineapple's enzymes and nutrients is what separates ordinary practice from extraordinary results. The difference between a healing food and a neutral or even harmful food lies in the way it's prepared. With pineapple, this principle is even more evident. Its enzymes and vitamins are extremely sensitive to temperature, oxidation, and the length of exposure to air. This means that the simple act of squeezing, blending, or storing the fruit can determine whether it becomes a natural remedy or just another source of acidic sugar. The first rule is to avoid excessive heat. When pineapple is cooked, grilled, or baked, the bromelain is destroyed. This enzyme can't withstand high temperatures, and without it, the fruit loses much of its anti-inflammatory and digestive power. This is why heated pineapple desserts, while delicious, have a completely different effect on the body. The flavor remains, but the therapeutic value disappears. If health is the goal, the fruit should be consumed raw or in fresh juices, immediately after preparation. The second rule is timing. Cut pineapple left in the refrigerator for more than 24 hours begins to oxidize. This oxidation reduces vitamin C levels and alters the flavor, making it more acidic. The longer it's exposed, the less beneficial it is. Ideally, cut only the portion you'll consume and enjoy immediately. In addition to preserving enzymes, this reduces the risk of fermentation, which is common when the fruit is stored in plastic or tightly closed containers. Another important tip is chewing. Digestion of pineapple begins in the mouth. When we chew thoroughly, we activate salivary enzymes that interact with bromelain, facilitating the entire digestive process. Swallowing too quickly prevents this natural chemistry from occurring. That's why a simple gesture, eating slowly, can completely transform the way the body absorbs nutrients and regulates acidity. It's also worth paying attention to the temperature. Very cold juices or pieces cause stomach contractions, which hinders absorption. Choose pineapple at room temperature, which keeps the enzymes active and respects the digestive rhythm. And, whenever possible, avoid mixing it with other foods high in sugar, even natural ones, to avoid overloading the liver. These small changes add up to big results. People who start eating pineapple correctly report improved sleep, easier digestion, and even reduced joint pain. The body recognizes the care and responds with balance. After all, nutrition is a continuous conversation between what we put on our plate and what our body needs to stay alive. In the end, understanding how to prepare food is more important than the food itself. Every choice determines how the body reacts. And pineapple is an excellent reminder of this, a simple food that perfectly reflects nature's wisdom. But there's something even deeper to be learned from this fruit. Because the true secret to health isn't just avoiding mistakes, but understanding that no food is good or bad in itself. It all depends on the context in which it's consumed and the state of the person consuming it. Turning 60 isn't just about taking care of your body, it's about understanding it. And pineapple, with all its virtues and pitfalls, is a perfect example of how context transforms a food. No fruit, vegetable, or grain is miraculous in isolation. What defines the effect of each one is the timing, the combination, and the internal state of the consumer. Eating smart means learning to listen to your body and adjusting your habits according to its signals. As we age, the body becomes more sensitive and wise. It speaks through small clues: slower digestion, lighter sleep, drier skin, energy fluctuations throughout the day. These signals aren't failures, they're messages. And when we learn to decipher them, each meal stops being automatic and becomes a form of prevention. Pineapple is neither a villain nor a hero. It's simply a reminder that health is balance, and balance requires awareness. The biggest mistake of modern eating is trying to oversimplify. We look for lists of superfoods or forbidden foods, when, in reality, the secret lies in looking at the bigger picture. A hydrated, well-nourished, and peaceful body digests any food better. An inflamed and overworked body, on the other hand, turns even fruits into triggers for discomfort. Nutritional wisdom begins when we stop following fads and start following what our bodies truly need. What science calls metabolism, experience calls rhythm. Each person has their own. Some need more fiber, some benefit from more good fats, some respond better to raw foods. Therefore, prepackaged diets rarely work, they ignore individual characteristics. The key is to experiment carefully and observe your body's responses. After 60, this listening becomes even more valuable. Retraining yourself is simpler than it seems. All it takes is small adjustments: respecting your natural schedule, opting for fresh foods, chewing slowly, and avoiding excess, even of foods considered healthy. When there's harmony between what you eat and what your body needs, your metabolism stabilizes, your sleep improves, and your energy returns. Sharing this kind of knowledge is a form of collective care. How many people do you know who eat pineapple thinking it's doing something good, but without realizing it, it actually worsens their digestion or sleep? If this content made you rethink your routine, share it with someone who also loves pineapple. Sometimes, a simple adjustment can prevent years of discomfort and loss of vitality. The body is a generous system. It tries to adapt to every error, corrects imbalances, silently asks for help. And when it finally finds harmony, it responds with gratitude, more energy, more lightness, more life. But for this to happen, we need to cultivate a new kind of awareness, viewing food not just as a pleasure or a habit, but as a dialogue with our own health. And, by understanding this, it becomes clear that aging well isn't a matter of luck, but of awareness. True medicine begins when we learn to observe what our body is trying to tell us. Every discomfort, every gain or loss of energy, is a form of communication. The pineapple, used as an example throughout this guide, represents much more than a simple tropical fruit. It symbolizes the boundary between care and neglect, between knowledge and automatic habit. It's not the food that causes the problem, but how we treat it. As the body matures, it demands respect. And respect means adjusting what we eat, how much we eat, and, most importantly, when we eat. With age, health stops relying solely on tests and medication and becomes dependent on daily attention. Knowing what to put on your plate is as important as knowing what to avoid. Pineapple, when understood, is a powerful ally. It strengthens natural defenses, improves digestion, fights inflammation, and brings vitality. But when used impulsively or repeatedly, without considering the context, it becomes a trigger for imbalance. This is the essence of nutritional wisdom, realizing that the difference between poison and medicine lies in the dose and the timing. There's no miracle secret to aging well, there's consistency. The body changes, but it also adapts. Metabolism slows down, but responds quickly when treated with care. Small daily adjustments generate profound transformations: more energy, better mood, restorative sleep, firmer skin, and a clearer mind. The basis of everything is listening. The body speaks. The problem is that many have stopped listening. It's time to reconnect. Look at food with curiosity and respect, observe how it affects your well-being, and adjust with patience. When you understand that each meal is an opportunity for regeneration, eating stops being an automatic act and becomes an act of self-love. And this is true prevention: listening, adjusting, and nourishing. The sooner we start, the longer the body remains strong, flexible, and full of life. But it's never too late. Even at 60, 70, or 80, the body still has the power to respond. With each correct choice, it silently thanks you with lightness, vigor, and balance. If you want to continue learning how to transform common foods into health allies and discover the power of your body's natural defenses, subscribe to the channel. Each video here is an invitation to take care of yourself wisely, without extremism or fads. Because accurate information, applied consciously, is the best supplement for a long and vital life.